The crew on Space Shuttle Columbia had no idea that damage caused at the launch of the mission had sealed their fate and believed they would soon be reunited with their families and loved ones. In February 2003, 7 astronauts were preparing to return to Earth following a 16-day mission in space, but they were totally unaware that staff in NASA's control room were keeping a huge secret from them. Those on the ground had already realized a piece of foam insulation had broken away from the external tank, striking the port wing of the orbiter. It was unlikely Space Shuttle Columbia would remain intact as it re-entered the Earth's atmosphere, resulting in certain death for all those on board. The 7 doomed astronauts were Commander Rick Husband, pilot Willie McCool, mission specialists Kalpana Chawla, Laurel Clark, Michael Anderson, David Brown, and Ilan Ramon, Israel's first astronaut. The shuttle was too far away from the International Space Station to seek help and had no robotic arm with which they could carry out repairs. By the time another shuttle could have reached them, it would have been far too late. After being given a 10-minute warning for their descent, on February 1st, those aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia had no reason to believe they wouldn't soon be receiving a warm welcome home. The doomed teammates began to put on their suits and safety gloves as the shuttle headed back to the U.S. over the Pacific Ocean, preparing for what they believed would be a routine landing. Footage of these final, heartbreaking moments shows them looking relaxed as they looked ahead to the end of their epic journey, at times laughing and smiling with each other. At one point, they even expressed wonder at the amazing pink glow visible outside their cockpit windows. The shuttle made its approach to the Kennedy Space Center just before 9 a.m. EST. However, abnormal readings were visible at mission control. Temperature readings from sensors on the left wing were lost, as were tire readings from the left side of the shuttle. Columbia was called to discuss the readings, and seconds before 9 a.m., Husband called back Roger, followed by another word that was cut off mid-sentence. At this point, the astronauts were traveling at 18 times the speed of sound and were 200,700 feet, 61,170 meters, above the ground near Dallas, Texas. Mission Control attempted to contact Columbia, but there was no reply from the astronauts. A NASA crew survival report in 2008 found that the crew probably survived the initial breakup of the shuttle, but lost consciousness seconds after the cabin lost pressure, and they would have died as Columbia disintegrated. Exposure to high altitude and blunt trauma caused their deaths, the report stated. One of Columbia's crew members was not wearing a pressure suit helmet, and 3 astronauts had not put on their spacesuit gloves, according to the report. But it didn't find astronaut error had contributed to the loss of the craft and stated that it was not a survivable event. Debris rained down over eastern Texas and western Louisiana in nightmarish scenes for those looking to the skies from below. Following an extensive search, the bodies of all 7 astronauts were recovered. A new 3-part BBC Two documentary, The Space Shuttle That Fell to Earth, examines the mistakes that were made by NASA that led to the deaths of the crew.